Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are doing an oil can delay. So it's the Olivera by Strymon. Strymon was very kind to send me this pedal, so thank you very much for that. I'm really happy to talk about it because it's actually a really good pedal. Now, it's an oil can delay or a replication of one. So what is an oil can delay? So here's how an oil can delay works in a nutshell. You have a can. The can is filled with oil. Within that can is a spinning disc. This disc is what audio is written to. Within the oil can delay, there are 3 heads. One is a recording head, 2 of them are playback heads, and just so you know, there are no heads that will erase the audio, so the audio just degrades on its own over time. The trick is that you can turn on and off the various playback heads, but the thing to understand, this is a non-linear delay. So what that means is, as that thing is spinning, let's say you play a note, the recording head records that note to the spinning disc. The spinning disc goes to the playback head that is live and will play back the sound. So that is your delayed sound, right? Once it hits that, it has to do an entire revolution around before it plays it back again. So that means when you have the short head enabled, for example, the first delayed note will be like a shorter repeat, and the rest of them will be a little longer, on and on and on. So I hope that makes sense. When you have the long playback head going, same deal. Has to go to that playback head, and then after every revolution, it plays back on that playback head. And then when you have both playback heads active, of course, you're going to have, one length, and then not a full revolution, but just going from playback head 2 back to playback head 1. So it sounds confusing, but understanding this mechanism will let you understand the patterns that it's going to give you. So anyway, let's dive in. I'm going to show you what all of this means. Now, the Olivera does not have a tap tempo. This delay pedal is a recreation of a non-linear delay, so any tempo you tapped into it would probably not match what it gave you. I guess you could say, well, I'm going to tap the first repeats or the second repeats, but I don't know if that would help you. There is an expression pedal jack on the back as well, so you can control multiple functions and knobs with the expression pedal all at once if you want. You can set the heel and the toe for whatever, setting you desire. So there's a lot of flexibility with that if you want to express yourself with a pedal. It does have full MIDI, and when I say full MIDI, it looks like you can do pretty much anything you want with it as far as MIDI goes, but I don't think you can add a tap tempo with the MIDI. I did look for that. I didn't see it. So no tap tempo. You don't get that. Beyond that, it takes 250 milliamps at 9 volts. So it does not come with a power supply. You will need to provide your own. But, at this point, I feel like I say this about every pedal. One thing I love about this pedal are the repeats, because they have this fragile quality to them. They're dark, they're murky, they're warbly. Even with the modulation off, they kind of feel that way. They're beautiful and they're fragile and they kind of just disappear. And I'm probably not articulating this well. There's some quality to the repeats that I find very musical and very pretty. I also don't know if I have another pedal that is doing that. I don't think I do. So I think that's why when I plugged this in, I was instantly drawn to it, and I did that thing that I do with good pedals, which is I just kind of get lost in it for 20 minutes and forget what I'm doing, and then, go, oh, wow, okay, that thing is very inspiring. So there's this pedal, like when you can dial it in, the regen in to where it's very close to oscillating, and it's starting to. It has a quality that kind of reminds me of the freak out pedal and what I like to do with that. So with the freak out, I'll play a phrase or I'll play a note, and then I will hit it and activate it. It does a little bit of feedback, and it creates this moment of tension or difference, or almost like, taking in a breath. It's a kind of a pause in the music. It's musical. And then with this pedal, one thing I've enjoyed doing is, playing and letting the regen be just at that edge where it's starting to kind of do its thing and do the oscillation thing, and then pull it back. And it feels just very organic. Like, I will probably set this up to where I have an expression pedal. The expression pedal is, at toe position will be right at the edge of the feedback or the self oscillation, and then, you know, heel will be just a little bit back behind that. And that way I can control that going in and out. I don't know. I really, really like how this pedal sounds when I'm doing that. So what else? Oh, and yes, so for ambient guitar, I plan to use it. I mean, this can be used as like a big, you know, kind of dark pad delay pedal, but also because of the quality of its kind of warbly nature, I think this is going to pair really well with other pedals that need to be tamed a bit. So some pedals I have, they can at times almost be a little harsh, you know, like the Super Ego, even the Mood at times. Sometimes they just need something to kind of make them sound more analog and rounded off. And this pedal pulls that off very, very nicely. So I think this is like a tone shaper mixed with a very cool delay. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I think now I have to figure out how the hell I'm going to integrate this into an already packed pedal board, but that's a good problem to have, right? So there's something about these Strymon pedals that makes my guitar sound better, and I'm not totally sure what it is. I've mentioned this before, but I don't know if it's their converter or their preamp mixed with the analog drive-through. Whatever they're doing, every time I plug one in, I feel like it makes my guitar sound better. I could not recommend this pedal more highly. It's really, really good. It's very inspiring. It's one of the best pedals I've played in a while, to be honest. You know, I've had oil can delays in the past, and I'm going to be honest, I haven't really gelled with them. Like, there's something about them that I found a little off. It just doesn't, I don't know why. I can't, this is another thing. I tried to articulate it, tried to write down my little piece of paper and be like, explain why this oil can delay is better than the other ones you've played. I don't know why. It just, this one sounds better. All right, everyone, that's it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Hit the like button and the subscribe button, please, because that really helps support the channel and just makes me happy. So yeah, do that for me, please. Also, if you want to really support the channel, there's a link in the description. You can buy my EP, you can get some good ambient music, and then hand out a copy of it to all your friends. Just give it to them and say, hey, listen to this. That'd be great too.